From the Painted Desert to the Ponderosa Pines, the Grand Canyon State has towns and cities with unique names. So let's hit the road and find out what's in a name, Arizona.
I'm Brian Webb. Let's start our journey here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, a small community of about 24,000 residents with one big attraction, the Fountain Hills Fountain. Let's go see how it works. How do you turn on a giant mechanical fountain? Very carefully, of course. Just ask Kevin Snipes. You could say he puts the fountain in Fountain Hills. This used to be the tallest fountain in America or the world?
In the world,
In the world. That was the point, I guess, in the beginning?
Yeah, the point to building it is to build the tallest, and they did, and now it's about the fourth tallest in the world. It's the only one that's running on a daily basis. It's certainly a sight to see. We get people from all over the world that come here just to see the fountain.
The fountain shoots water high into the air the first 15 minutes of the hour, every day from 9 to 9, weather permitting.
It creates its own atmosphere because it cools the air down around it, right? Because it's such a big wall of water. So a lot of times it'll be nice and calm. Like right now, you can feel that there's more wind blowing.
Yeah.
That's because the fountain just turned on.
Yeah. That kind of pressure requires lots of power. So let's see where the magic happens.
Each motor has its own electrical source, runs on 48,000 volts.
Try 3 600 horsepower motors that can work together or independently.
So the way it's set up is it'll either run 1, 2, or 3, and they will run together. So when we're running all 3 pumps, we run 7,000 gallons per minute. It's all determined by wind speed. Normally operation is 2 pumps. So at 1 pump it runs 170 feet high, 2 pumps it runs 330, and with all 3 pumps running in ideal conditions, it'll run 560 feet.
So with wind speed, meaning you don't want the water blowing too far one way or another?
Yeah, our lake's a reclaimed water lake. It's set up to where it mists pretty easy when it's throwing that much pressure, and so we don't want the mist to blow outside of the park's parameters.
So it all happens right here. This is where it starts.
We're standing over a water bay right here. It's quite the setup. We move a lot of water through here. It's an 18-inch main line that runs out to the fountain. Fountain's 550 feet away from here, and so water goes from here out to the fountain, and then at the fountain base, there's a nozzle that's 7 feet tall. It weighs 2,200 pounds. It's a 3-part setup. And one of the things that makes it really unique is it's air infused. So there's a pipe that comes up the middle that's about the size of your fist around. And then there's an outer ring that's about 1 inch out from there. And the water only comes through that outer inch. So the air gets pulled into it and gives it that wave look that makes it so special.
The fountain can bask in different colored lights, all surrounded by 100 million gallons of reclaimed water.
For the holidays, we run it red and green while we have our lights up on the avenue of the fountains. And so it just creates a neat atmosphere, and not doing it all the time to where that it's special when it does run colors, and even when it's white, it's a beautiful thing to see.
And controlled by a single app on Kevin's smartphone. The brain's in there, the brawn in here. So we go turn the thing on?
Let's do this.
This is new technology at its finest here. What do you have to do?
Yeah, so on the phone we have controls of all the lighting as well as each of the pumps. And so it's as simple as a toggle switch that'll turn it on. You can hear the fountain start to kick.
Okay.
And then you're gonna see it start to push up.
Wow. So 5 seconds later, we have water. Wow.
And then as soon as that gets to full height, that's a single pump running. The thing I love about this job is the people that come. You get to meet a lot of different people, and if you're in Parks and Rec and you're not making people happy, then you're not doing something horribly wrong.
Jay Schlum is Fountain Hills history himself. He moved here as a boy in the early 70s and grew up to be Fountain Hills mayor.
Our folks found Fountain Hills kind of by accident, driving around in 1977, and saw a billboard to come see the tallest fountain in the world. They had half a day left before heading back to Michigan. Canceled their purchase in North Phoenix and found a house out here in Fountain Hills, and we're just so fortunate.
The town began as a brainstorm by Robert McCullough, the man who brought a London Bridge to Lake Havasu. He bought an old desert ranch with the dream of building an oasis and hired C.W. Wood, who helped design Disneyland, to bring it to life. Together, they came up with a brilliant but simple plan. Build a fountain and they will come.
I think most people, even in the Midwest in the 70s, knew about Scottsdale and maybe Phoenix. And obviously being adjacent to that is appealing to those, particularly in the winter in the Midwest, wanting to get out of the snow. So I think they did a lot of marketing, probably through newspaper, and encouraged people to come jump on a charter plane and fly out to Arizona, and then they pick them up in white Wrangler Jeeps and tour them around Fountain Hills, which obviously was just becoming a developed area. Some grading was done, some of the roads were dirt. And they would pick their favorite lot, and then they get to build their dreams whenever the time was right.
They threw in the great weather and stunning views for free. And as for the name Fountain Hills, well, that was the easy part.
I'm not sure where the fountain came from, but they came up with the fountain, and let's make it the tallest in the world, and let's attract people to our our little oasis out here that's master planned. And it's worked, and it continues to work. So the name came from Fountain and the hills. So pretty simple.
That was easy.
But certainly fitting and beautiful.
In the 50-plus years that followed, the town has steadily and carefully grown up. More people, houses, restaurants, and shops, all while holding on to that small town feel. One thing you won't see a lot of in Fountain Hills are power poles. Most of the electric lines are buried underground as part of a beautification process. You won't see a lot of streetlights either. That's so residents have a better view of the stars at night. And now to the sweet side of the city. Step inside Chocofin Chocolatier, Fountain Hills' very own hometown chocolate shop. Well, I love chocolate, but why chocolate instead of ice cream or pizza or whatever it might have been?
Well, I don't know. You know, I had some good luck when I was playing around with making desserts when I was younger, which I enjoyed baking. But I got a really strong reaction to some chocolate truffles I made. And then there was a gentleman. He was opening a new gourmet market. He ordered 600 truffles from me, and that kind of got me started. You know, we weren't sure if this was a big enough town to have a gourmet chocolate shop in. But we were already doing the wholesale, so we thought, well, let's open a little spot, see what happens. But once the first Christmas came, we were sold out the first day, and we realized the potential was there. And so we've been building on that ever since.
From bars to bonbons and flavors ranging from raspberry to rum. They even make their own Fountain Hills chocolate bars, complete with the city logo on front. But the best seller, the salted whiskey caramel.
A soft caramel that has a little bit of Jack Daniels in it. And the Jack Daniels, the alcohol burns off and it leaves a wonderful flavor. And then we put a little bit of Hawaiian sea salt on top for crunch, and it kind of brings out the butteriness of the caramel. So we really kind of go a little, I feel like we go the extra mile with these guys to just really make them exceptional. And that's why we sell thousands every week.
Like anything delicious, it takes a combination of factors: fresh ingredients, hard-earned expertise, and lots of elbow grease.
We actually cook down some raspberries and a little bit of sugar, and we make our own raspberry jam, and then we flavor the roasted raspberry truffle with that. And that's kind of what makes our chocolates special, is that we go the extra mile. After we dip the roasted raspberry ganache in dark chocolate, we sprinkle a little raspberry powder, which is 100% raspberries, just freeze-dried, and so it's great color, but also a nice flavor. And then this is our latest experiment. We were curious about the Dubai bar, which is basically a pistachio crunch that's gone viral on the TikTok, for example. And so we're doing a miniature version of this. We grind our own pistachio butter, so it's nice and smooth. And the pistachios have great flavor just by themselves. Then we blend that with a little bit of white chocolate and a shredded phyllo called kataifi. And you toast the phyllo with a little butter, and then that gives it a crunch. So we're basically going to call this a pistachio crunch. So we're just going to dip that.
Fountain Hills, Arizona, from tempting your taste buds to an eye-popping attraction, an oasis in the desert with the name to match. So what's in a name, Arizona? For Fountain Hills, it just makes sense.